Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today I have internet issues. I got up this morning and there were no internet. Well, there's no Wi-Fi. The internet is actually still there, but I just don't have access to it from the living room because I use Wi-Fi and cables and power over Ethernet, which becomes important up here in this very rough looking cabinet. I have a switch. I used to have a switch. I have all the cables here. I've marked them because they have to go back into that switch, and they have to go back in the right order because some of them are PoE, power over Ethernet, meaning that the switch gives out power over the network connection, and if you connect something to a port with power over Ethernet, bad things can happen. So I located the error, and that switch was not lighting up like this stupid little D-Link switch. I was actually talking to my patron this Sunday that I wanted to replace this switch. I wanted a 16 port switch because I was tired of having two switches up here. I didn't exactly mean that it should just die, so I'm hoping to relive it. It's in the basement. I started trying to locate the error, so I thought, oh, might be interesting, so we might just go and fetch the camera. So this is it. It's a Unifi switch, 150 watts PoE, and this switch has 8 port 1 gigabit, and then it has another 2 ports which is SFP, and unfortunately they are just SFP, they're not SFP plus. So I think I will connect it again and just show you what's going on. So this is the thing when I fetched it. So we're gonna connect power. There's a dead spider on there, and I'm gonna not gonna touch that. There. And we have a green LED over here, right there. So that green LED should just really light up very happily green. It's ever so slightly dodgy, if you might see that. I naturally I measured the power here. I measured the power output here. I think it's 12 volts coming out and into the board. But it's very unstable. Measured the voltage coming in. That is 220 volt AC. So this switch, that is the switch, and this is the power supply, and it looks very much like an almost regular brick power supply. So, and it has been running okay for years. So my idea is that it's probably these capacitors that it's done for. And I do admit it gets very hot in that cabinet, so I think I might be able to get this by replacing some of those caps, some or all of those caps. So let's see if we can get a voltage reading. Plus and minus, get your hands out of the way. So anything from about 9 volts to 22 volts is coming out of there. I would call that a very slow variable DC power supply. It's not supposed to do that, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so disconnect it again. I'm just gonna disconnect 220 volts. Get out of here. And the DC output, well, I expect that it's DC output, it usually is, and the power supply is free. So very often it's these output caps that gets old. I don't see anything on them, but yeah, probably they're old. Okay, I've already run into kind of a pickle here. I don't know if it's what I should do about it, but these 4 caps are the ones that I want to try and replace, and they are all 470 microfarads, 63 volts. I do have 470 microfarads right here, way smaller, but these are only 35 volts, so they're approximately half the voltage as these. I don't actually have anything that goes up to that voltage. I have a few different sorts. I could put in these 1000 microfarads. They go up to 50 volts, so the voltage is an improvement, but it's still lacking, and the capacity is way bigger than what I'm actually. I'll keep this open. I might go that route. I don't have the right one. Okay, these are the caps that has come out. We can see them here. 470 microfarads, 63 volts. I have put in some of the smaller ones, 470 microfarads, but only 35 volts. It's not a great fix, even if it works, because, well, these died, and yeah, maybe it'll just say pop, 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 and we all know that we have an issue there. Okay, I have the power supply back in. I haven't tightened it up. I haven't even connected this wire to the switch itself, because I think if this is gonna pop, we might not damage the switch if we don't have it connected. So let's see. Ooh. Well, the LED over here is definitely blinking less. It's not bright, but it's not doing a whole lot. That might be because of us not having the connector connected. So let's just for good measure the output voltage. Oh crap, we have like 30-40 volts here. That's a lot. Oh. Okay, let's. The connector is back in, so let's see what happens. Not much. I don't see anything happening actually. So let's measure here. What do? So now we have like. It does not seem to have done a whole lot. Okay, I connected everything up again. I remember that the LED was in the LED of the box, and the box wasn't connected, and nothing is happening here. I also realized that, well, this is a PoE switch, so when it's powering all the connections here, that is like 52 volts. So those 35 volt electrolytic capacitors would be over voltage and would blow up really fast, but nevertheless it's dead as a doornail, so that sucks. Okay, 3 hours later, I have just returned from the hardware pusher with a new Ubiquiti switch, this time in 16 port, which I weren't really looking forward to spend the money. These are expensive, so we're gonna have a look at it. Now that I purchased it, we're gonna squeeze every view out of it. So let's have it out of the box. The box is very Apple-like. There's not much here. It says switch Lite. Well, the price didn't say Lite. It felt very heavy. Yeah, this was 1,700 Danish crowns. That is 220, 230 US dollars. So I wouldn't call that light for a little switch here. Oh, it does have some weight to it though. It does feel like quality, must admit. Yeah. It's the same setup as the other one, ports on one side and power on the other side. This one is, well, it's 16 port, 1 gigabit. I would really have liked some SFPs here. A couple of 10 gigabit SFP pluses here would have been wonderful, but it doesn't have that. But that would have really made it worth the money. It has PoE. It looks like it has PoE on the first 8 ports here. 45 watts PoE, which I think is a bit to the smaller side, but yeah, at the moment I don't have any internet, so I'm not gonna be complaining too much. I just want this thing back up and running so I can... Why is this glued to the inside? That's very inconvenient. I don't have a really good idea of how much PoE power I use at the moment. Well, before everything broke. So this is the manual. That's not a good solution. This is the manual, but I don't think we need it. We just need to connect it and import it into our Ubiquiti environment, and I think then everything should be fine. So, oh, wall mounting bracket. Okay. That looks very simple. Plastic. So you put the screws in. You can mount. Yeah. Okay. Oh. How did that? It's stuck. How did I expect me to get this back out again? Dang it. Okay, so from experience, don't pop this in if you don't need it. It's very difficult to get back out. Okay, the new switch is connected up here. I ran into all sorts of issues. The new switch can run PoE plus, but it does not run the older standard 24 volts passive or something. And I had some equipment that used that, so I have an injector here, a Ubiquiti injector, and I also have this thing, which is a Ubiquiti from, well, it goes from the 48 volts down to 24 volts to power a system that uses that. And in the middle of it, I also found that my, let's see in here, my Ubiquiti in-wall access point is not responding to anything anymore. So that has left me in the basement. I came to think of it, and this switch, which is a PoE switch, naturally uses a power supply that supplies 48 volts because it needs 48 volts to give out power over Ethernet. So that power supply that is in here is a 48 volt power supply. I happen to have a laboratory power supply, so I have been able to connect the laboratory power supply. It sparkles a little bit when I connect this, but let's just do it anyway. Let's see if I can hit that. There. And it draws a little bit of power up here. This lights up, and it takes a bit for it to boot, but then it does something. So I'll show you when it's doing something, which means that I have to stand here and paddle a little bit. There, it starts blinking, and then it goes and tests the ports in just a little bit. There. It's doing something. I don't know, there's 2 of the ports that has light on them. They will come back. There they are. I have no idea. That might be the ports that have been running 24 volts and therefore they're active. But yeah, I do believe the switch is working. The power supply is dead. I just tested it on power again, and it gave the same spark when I connected that plug, but yeah, I never got any meaningful power out of it. So yeah, funny enough, I did look this power supply up, and it's quite expensive. Actually, I can get almost 2 of these power supplies for what they're charging for one of these power supplies. If I want the Ubiquiti one, there are some more generic 48 volt power supplies that are way more affordable. So not really a good day. A new switch, $230-ish, and then it couldn't do all the stuff that the old one could. It has more ports. I'm only running 1 switch though. But I have had all kind of problems, camera problems, access point problems, power problems, cable problems. Hasn't been a good day. And I need another in-wall Ubiquiti thing to replace the one that has... yeah, that's another big write-off. So not a good day. But I hope you're having a good day. If you're having a better day than me, please give this video a like so that I can see that you like your situation over mine. But other than that, thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.